You're watching Urban Debate, and we are going to talk about the politics surrounding the student agitation that continues in Jharkhand. Now, even in Ranchi, as the hunger strike that has now entered its 14th day, the Cockroach Janata Party, which has announced a delegation to Ranchi. Meanwhile, Jharkhand Loktantrik Krantikari Morcha, led by Jairam Kumar Mahato, has strongly criticized the state government over the ongoing student protest in Ranchi regarding the JPSC and JSSC exam alleged irregularities. Now, reactions that have been coming in, let's play them out.
सरकार का रवैया को देख रहे हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा छात्र के प्रति असंवेदनशील है। कभी उनका कोई अधिकारी पदाधिकारी आते हैं, बोलते हैं कि वार्ता के लिए सरकार तैयार है, प्रतिनिधिमंडल का नाम भेजिए। ये 3 दिनों से चल रहा है। वार्ता होना चाहिए ताकि ये वार्ता एक ऐसा अहम और महत्वपूर्ण हो कि राज्य के सभी छात्र संतुष्ट हो।
Now, it took Rahul Gandhi 15 days and a question on social media to finally respond to the protest in Ranchi. Thousands of students who have been protesting despite heavy rain and police action, where the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha says that he stands with the students and has added that every government, including the Congress governments, must listen to the concerns of the youth.
देखिए, स्टूडेंट प्रोटेस्ट जो देश में हो रही है, एजुकेशन सिस्टम के खिलाफ हो रही है। मैंने साफ कहा है, देहरादून में कहा है, कोटा में कहा है और इलाहाबाद में जाकर कहने वाला हूं। हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम कोलैप्स्ड है, बहुत महंगा है और ऑप्रेसिव है। हर सरकार को स्टूडेंट्स की बात सुननी चाहिए और एजुकेशन सिस्टम को बदलने के लिए एक्शन लेना चाहिए, चाहे वो कांग्रेस की सरकार हो, नेशनल सरकार हो या झारखंड की सरकार हो।
Now, Rahul Gandhi, who also spoke with the protesting students, having this conversation over the phone, the student leader said that he backed their protest and promised to raise the demands with the government, asking them to send a detailed list of demand on WhatsApp. But the students also have a message. They say that the support is welcome, but as part of the ruling alliance, the Congress must ensure action and not just mere promises or assurances.
उन्होंने अपनी मांग उनको बताया कि ये हमारी मांग है। हमारी जो सारी मांगे हैं एग्जाम को रद्द को लेकर के, जांच को लेकर के और रिफॉर्म्स को लेकर के, उन्होंने कहा कि आपके मांगों के साथ हम खड़े हैं, आप हमें अपना मांग पत्र बताइए और हम सरकार से इस संबंध में बात करेंगे कि आपको मांगों को मान लिया जाए। हाँ, उन्होंने कहा कि आप जो डिमांड है उसकी एक प्रति मुझे भेज दीजिए, मैं आपकी डिमांड को देख के सरकार से बात करूंगा।
आदरणीय राहुल गांधी जी ने बोला ठीक है, आप लोग का जो भी कुछ मांग है, आप मांग को हमारे व्हाट्सएप कीजिए हमको, हम उस पर गंभीर है और जो भी हमसे बन पाएगा हम करेंगे। यही बात हुआ। तो उनका कहना था कि हम सरकार से बात करेंगे, लेकिन हम आपके माध्यम से आदरणीय राहुल गांधी जी से यही अपील करूंगा कि अगर आप सच में छात्रों के साथ हैं तो अपना स्टैंड को क्लियर कीजिए कि हम छात्रों के साथ हैं। जितना जल्दी हो सके सरकार से हम लोग के मांग को मनवाइए। अगर सरकार आपके कहने के बावजूद भी हम लोग का मांग पर गंभीर नहीं है तो आपको जो है सो सरकार के साथ रहने का कोई औचित्य नहीं बनता है। आपको नैतिकता के नाते छात्रों के साथ रहना चाहिए।
Now, the Jharkhand government has opened a dialogue channel with protesting students in Ranchi. Senior officials, including the SDO and the ADM, who have now reached the protest site, holding talks with the demonstrators. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Hemant Soren says that the government is ready to listen to the student concerns and work towards reforms addressing their demands.
पूरे राज्य की जो हमारे छात्र छात्राएं हैं, जो इस संबंध में अपने विचार रखते हैं, वो अपनी राय दे सकते हैं और एक मजबूत और बड़े रिफॉर्म के साथ आगे हम लोग बच्चों की जो ये जिज्ञासा है, उस जिज्ञासा को उनके अनुरूप बनाने के उद्देश्य से आगे बढ़े।
So let's introduce our guests joining us here on the Urban Debate. We have Pratul Deo from the Jharkhand BJP, Rashmi Sawant, author and activist, Neelam Mishra, spokesperson from the JMM, and we also have Nikhil Jain as a political analyst joining us here on the broadcast. Thank you very much for taking out your time. Neelam ji, let's get a better understanding. This seems to be the first reaction that is now coming in from the Chief Minister himself. What took you so long?
Actually, for the holistic benefit of the students and their demand, our government is always ready to help them. And now Jharkhand government has started all activities. He is continuously, regulating the matters very seriously. And Hemant Soren ji is always with student all the time. Since first day when this kind of agitation taken place in Jharkhand, our government is very much serious. And he is always ready to give all facilities and holistic support to our students. That's the reason.
No, but if that support is coming in, then what was the need for a hunger strike if their concerns would have been raised by the government even before this protest actually, came up to this level? Pratulji, what is your point of view? Because now they are coming out to say that they are ready to extend support. In fact, Rahul Gandhi also held a conversation with the protesting students.
Amita ji, this is a very sad state of affairs about what is happening in the state of Jharkhand. Students have been protesting for 14 days. A few of them have gone on hunger strike, and still the government is not doing enough. See, and what about the Mr. Shoot and Scoot of the Indian political system? Rahul Gandhi, the students were singing at the Dharna site, Habibi Rahul, tum kab aoge. They were requesting him to come. So there was national pressure on him to appear and say something about Jharkhand, because the government of Jharkhand is supported by Congress, and they have 4 ministers also in the government. But instead of giving any concrete assurances to the student that the examinations will be cancelled, and see, it has a multi-dimensional, a multi-state dimension. The inquiry should have been, the agency of choice should have been a CBI. But he did not say anything about it. He said he will speak to the chief minister. See, he has 4 ministers. Why the ministers have not gone? So he comes after 13 days, just posts a virtual message, talks to the students on phone. The students are not looking for virtual support from Mr. Gandhi. They want him to come and join the protest. He could sit in Dharna in front of the Prime Minister's office, breaking all security norms, and ask for the resignation of the education minister. So the education minister of Jharkhand is the chief minister himself. So we are waiting, when will Rahul Gandhi come and sit in Dharna in front of the CM house and demand his resignation? See, you can't have 2 sets of rules for the same thing. Now Rahul Gandhi totally stands exposed. The double-faced mask of Congress has fallen off, and they have different set of rules where their own party is in coalition or supporting the government, or where we are supporting the government. See, the entire issue is very staggering.
Yes.
Somebody who has got 46% as per the OMR sheet qualified, but somebody who got 80% did not. There was wide scale, corruption.
And not happening for the first time. But Pratulji, let me take opening comments from other guests as well. Nikhil, you heard the BJP leader coming out to say that there seems to be a very different template, that the opposition which is in Delhi and the one that is ruling dispensation in Jharkhand, or even when it comes to in Karnataka and Kerala, there is a different template that seems to be playing out. Why?
Amita, absolutely. There's a very different template in the Cockroach Janata Party protests in Delhi and the Jharkhand student protests in Jharkhand right now. With the CJP protests in Delhi, from day one, the ruling party at the center started calling them anti-national, started questioning their sources of funding, made allegations that they're being funded by China, George Soros, America, this, that. They were called all sorts of names, all sorts of communal angles were put in. Then students were tear gassed, then students were sexually assaulted by policemen. Students were fired at with pellet guns. Nobody in the government cared to talk to them. Prime Minister, forget the Prime Minister, even some education secretary was not interested in meeting these students. Sonam Wangchuk had to join in, sit on a hunger strike. Even then, the government did not do anything. On the other hand, in Jharkhand, what we're seeing right now is that before the sit-in started, the PCS chairman was made to resign, despite also the fact that the PCS technically is not under the Education Ministry of Jharkhand. It's an independent, separate body, unlike the National Testing Agency, which conducts the NEET exam. Be that as it may, the chairman was made to resign. After the sit-in started, CID inquiry also started. The chairman was called before the CID inquiry multiple times. Now, when the students are not satisfied with this, the chief minister is saying, all right, we might consider giving the inquiry and investigation in the hands of the CBI. There have been outreaches by the Congress in Jharkhand with the students, which is a part of the ruling alliance. the district Congress president is actually and the state working president is actually sending them water and food refreshments. The NSUI national president is going and talking with the students. You have Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress party president,
Nikhil,
saying,
I'm
I
just
stand
getting
with
the report that as far as the ISA march is concerned, one of the representatives, there has been an ink attack on her.
That's condemnable. There should not be an ink attack on anybody, but I'm just relieved that there hasn't been a tear gas attack on her, or somebody has not assaulted her in her private parts with a lathi, or somebody has not shot at her with a pellet gun, only for then somebody to stand on the floor of the assembly or the parliament and say, oh, no pellet guns was used. It's very, very different. And this entire question, why does Rahul Gandhi not go and stand there with the protesting students? That is inane. Honestly, that is inane. Will Narendra Modi go and stand with the protesters who are protesting against the Betwa river linking project in Madhya Pradesh?
Well, top of the two ministers were present there as far as Sonam Wangchuk breaking his fast is concerned, but that also took a significant amount of time. Rashmi ji, let's talk about as far as representation on ground is concerned. Students there who are agitating in Ranchi, they say that they have been approached by the bureaucrats. And even now, as far as the SDO is concerned, there is no minister who has come out to them. They are seeking a direct engagement with the chief minister. They have been asked that please spell out your delegation, who all would be there. And they have been seeking for a CBI representation to be handed over as far as the investigation is concerned. That till now has not happened. And of course, the bigger question will be asked, where is Rahul Gandhi?
Well, namaste, everybody. Firstly, I'd like to point out that the ongoing student protests are not merely about leaked examination papers or delayed recruitments in Jharkhand. They actually expose a deeper weakness in Jharkhand's education and governance ecosystem. Because let's face it, Jharkhand as a state has had extremely low outcomes when it comes to education as compared to the other states in India. While the Hemant Soren government is accountable for addressing these issues during its tenure, including recruitment delays, teacher vacancies, administrative shortcomings, and many of these underlying issues, they have actually only accumulated and it's just gotten worse. So I think the government as a whole is responsible for a whole string of educational outcomes that we need to talk about, because learning outcomes are one of the lowest in Jharkhand. The teacher shortages are massive as compared to the other states. The ratio is preposterous. There is high dropout rates after primary education, limited higher education ecosystem, and recruitment controversies are just it's just across the system. That being said, what I'm observing in the sort of pattern of this sort of pro-student, pro-education protests which are happening in the country, which I think is the need of the hour. I support protests which are seeking better systems, better security in terms of, leaks of paper and all of that. It's need of the hour, because this problem has persisted since our days of becoming democratic in 1947. So it's high time that we, revamped this system. But what I'm experiencing with these kinds of, protests is that the core axiom of these protests are anti-establishment opportunism and not pro-student advocacy.
So is it now becoming political parties taking, advantage and hijacking the main issue that should have been raised?
Absolutely, because if this was pro-student advocacy, the first, the minute the Jantar Mantar protests wrapped up, the entire team would then relocate to Jharkhand if it was about students. Because the primary purpose of any opportunistic anti-establishment movement is just regime disruption and political leverage.
So what are we now looking at? We are looking at support being extended. I mean, we are looking at video calls on part of CJP representatives. Abhijit Dipke, he said that he would be unable to join the protest, citing health reasons. Rahul Gandhi is not there. Yes, but Rashmi ji, let me take that question to you, ma'am. And also, Neelam ji, let me take that question to you, ma'am. Is there going to be a direct engagement with the chief minister? Because after all, these are what the students have been seeking, a direct meeting with the chief minister. Wo kab hoga?
Yeah, Hemant Soren ji is ready to sit with the student and start conversation. Actually, ma'am, means my concern is they are only focusing only in Jharkhand and in Jharkhand situation, what is happening over there. But what about the entire education system of India? Day by day, you will find that every school, colleges, universities are being demolished, and then syllabus are being removed, and the cost of education. So these all are the problem of education system. That's why we have to sit together, no matter whether it is central government or state government. This is a very serious matter. We should all sit together and think about this. How can we mitigate all the problems?
Is the problem the education system, or is the problem as far as deep-rooted corruption is concerned?
Competitive examination. These are hampering our students' life.
What are you doing to weed out corruption from the system, ma'am? Because this question should be asked to both center and state governments.
Not be taken as a political tool. This is my concern. Yes.
Yes, but let me take that question to Pratulji. I'm just coming to you, Rashmi. Pratulji, as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, he's termed the entire education system of the country to be oppressed. He's saying it is very expensive, and he says that we stand with the students. But standing with the students or actually doing something from them is actually, jo bolte na, zameen asman ka antar hai. So what exactly needs to be done, sir, as far as reforms are concerned?
See, Amitaji, I had initially in my opening statement only said that Rahul Gandhi is the Mr. Shoot and Scoot of the Indian political ecosystem. He just, puts in a narrative and then vanishes. So I agree with him for once that, yes, we did inherit a botched up education system where Aurangzeb and where Akbar, where glorified Tipu Sultan was portrayed as a freedom fighter, and Prithviraj Chauhan and Maharana Pratap were like just relegated to a few paragraphs and few lines in the NCERT textbooks. Now that has been undone. The NEP has been launched, and we have paid special stress to the regional languages. See, the students who are protesting have got two simple demands, Amitaji. First, prima facie, the government agrees that the examinations had corruption. So why not cancel the PT examination? Second, because 400 students got selected from the states of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. I'm again saying this. The CID reports to the state government will need permission from the state governments to go and investigate. CBI, established under the DP Act, doesn't need any permission to investigate. So why not a CBI inquiry? The government has a lot to hide than what it is actually exposing. And I was listening to the logic that a delegate has been formed. The student formed an 11-member delegation. They said we are being pressurized at the Dharna Sthan. The officials are coming and pressurizing us. So they included 2 independent journalists, including a president of the press club and another independent advocate. Now the government is not agreeing. Why? They want to put pressures under the closed and confines of a room to end the agitation on the students. This is not done. What we are saying is, now I was listening to what Nikhil was saying. To a certain extent, he's right. The JPSC is an independent body, but its entire budget is decided by the DOP, and DOPT reports to the Chief Minister. The Chief Minister is the personal minister of Jharkhand. So by that logic, he should resign. And coming to it, the serious issue, why has the PT examination not been cancelled? And they said we will form a committee. Congress, the mass which I said, is exposed. See, the K. Raju, a senior leader of Congress, who is also the in charge of Jharkhand Congress, comes and goes to the chief minister's residence and, has coffee and tea and puts in a
So no actionable move that you are saying has been taken so far, but there have been multiple arrests on part of the CID, and it seems that the chief minister is waiting out till the time that the CID concludes with its report and its investigation for further steps to be taken. And Nikhil, he said that he is open for a CBI probe, but isn't it coming too late in the day? And another allegation that has now been leveled, that student protests are often hijacked by political parties. Is this what the Congress is doing?
Amita, that's the problem. If you don't stand with the students, then they call you as opportunists, as political people who don't want to stand with the students. The moment you stand with the students, the protest becomes hijacking by political parties. First of all, I don't understand what is this delegitimization of political parties and electoral politics in this country. It is the goddamn job of political parties to support protests, students, farmers, youth, and every marginalized section of the community. So if Rahul Gandhi goes and stands with the students in CJP or in Jharkhand or in Karnataka, Punjab, wherever, that is his job. If he makes a video, that is his job. If if his party gives him some supplies, that is his job. Unfortunately, the BJP doesn't really like to do this job because there are so many questions about why Rahul Gandhi has not gone to the Jharkhand student protest. Why has Narendra Modi not gone? Rahul Gandhi, I can still understand he has political compulsions. It is his party's government in alliance in the state. Why has Narendra Modi not gone? Why has Amit Shah not gone?
But the Prime Minister has also done and put out his outreach videos. Then thereafter, he was also criticized for doing that.
Very well, very well. Then the Prime Minister and the LOP are doing the same thing. The difference is that the Prime Minister, when it came to a protest against his own government, the Prime Minister could not be found anywhere. But when it is about a protest against his own government, Rahul Gandhi still took a...
Then by that logic, then it should be the job of all of the political parties in the opposition. Why only Rahul Gandhi? We have seen, as far as in Delhi's Jantar Mantar is concerned, Aam Aadmi Party was there. We have seen UBD faction being there. We have seen Sharad Pawar also being there.
And
then
Amita, do you
Rahul
remember
Gandhi
what the
didn't go to
BJP did?
Jantar Mantar, by the way.
And Amita, do you remember what the BJP did when all these opposition political parties showed up in Jantar Mantar to support the students? They said this has been politically hijacked, this is a political game, this is a political conspiracy, this is that. Hey, Baba, it is their job. It is all right to support the
job to
students.
raise the issue or job to incite and provoke? Rashmi ji, there is a difference over there.
One small point I would also like to make to what Mr. Deo had said earlier. He says that the DOPT of the Jharkhand government is the one that sanctions budgets to the PCS. By that logic, the Chief Minister should resign. Well, the Consolidated Fund of India decides the budgets for the Election Commission, the Supreme Court, the High Courts and all of that. So every time there is any problem with the Election Commission, I think Prime Minister Modi should resign.
Well, that has been your main call, because that is what we are now looking at as far as in the opposition and parliament is concerned. Not a day without any protests and not a day without any marches that we are looking both inside and outside parliament. Coming to you, Pratulji, Rashmi, make your point. Who should resign then, and is resignation the answer?
Well, Amita, I feel like at this point, it's a lot of whataboutery. If you look at the issue itself, you have to look at specificity versus abstraction. What the spokesperson here, Neelam, said is that, okay, she started to change the goalpost and make it more and more abstract, saying, oh, education is more expensive. See, opportunistic movements, they strip away these technical specifics about and create abstract issue into broad ideological slogans, which cannot be solved. The conversation moves from how do we secure the integrity of the OMR sheets and the exams themselves to the entire, apparatus is illegitimate. It's so expensive everywhere in India. And, by converting a solvable administrative failing into an all-out political war. That is what the ruling government in Jharkhand is currently doing. They're just trying to swallow actual student concerns by whole larger partisan agendas. That's what happened in Jantar Mantar as well. Instead of coming up with specific solutions, instead of going after the mafia that the coaching institutions have created, which is leading to these paper leaks in the first place, because they create such huge incentives for the people within the system to, aid paper leaks, they're going after abstract ideas so that it converts into an all-out political war, and that student concerns get lost in that. See, I think as an opposition leader and as a politician, your first responsibility is good faith towards citizens and not coming to power and simply opposing the opposition party for what it is. Yes, it is to do their job, but their first job is not just outright opposing the ruling party, but to have that good faith towards the people that they claim to represent. I think we've lost that good faith towards...
so that is what my main contention was. Is the template different when the same opposition sitting in Delhi is ruling in other states, is governing other states? Neelamji, that question would be raised. I mean, that question was raised even before the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. That question was raised even in Kerala when water cannons were used on the students there. Question was raised in Karnataka when the students had come out with posters there. And in Jharkhand and Ranchi, we're looking at 2 weeks as far as the students there have been sitting on a hunger strike and they have been protesting. So why is there a different template, ma'am?
Because we cannot put everything in the same boat, Amita ji, I would say. And the BJP spokesperson,
what about
it shows that, they are proving that politics is all about pick and perception, because Jharkhand is completely different thing. We cannot put all incident in the same boat.
Because it has
they always ask for CBI inquiry. What is the credibility of CBI inquiry? There is many issues.
So then you will question the credibility of the courts as well.
But I would say
if on a neat level, we are looking at the CBI, which is already in conducting its inquiry, ma'am. No, on the neat level, CBI conducts inquiry, it finds out that the people who actually made those examination papers are the ones who were involved in the paper leaks, ma'am. Then the same template as far as the investigation is concerned, would it be up to the state? Because here the students have been demanding that we will not budge till the probe is given to the CBI. What will you now do?
That's what I am telling that. They are asking about the CBI. But where is the credibility of CBI? The question is very important. You
Then
have
where
to
is the
understand
credibility
that
of the
Far less
CID?
than that of
Miss, what
CBI at
about-
the moment.
No, that will come
Ma'am,
as far as
let me
question
comment.
on your state government,
I just
because
want
that
to
has been set up by the Chief Minister.
that in 2024, when NEET examination, sorry, are you hearing me? So in 2024, when NEET examination has malpractices taken place, at that time CBI was there. CBI was inquiring. CBI was inquiring everything, but what was the result? Sanjeev Mukhya, the main accused, was got clean chit. Clean chit. So that kind of result of CBI. That's why.
No, then
we don't
Neelamji,
ban.
the
And
BJP
second
will
thing is
ask
I
the
would like
question,
to-
then what is the
I would like
credibility
to
of the
raise here
CID?
that the corruption has been started in Jharkhand at the time when Babulal Marandi was the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, and the first JPSC examination and second JPSC examination.
Ma'am, if we go and start out
means
giving
at
out the
that
history
time-
of paper
at that
leaks
time
and
when
deep-rooted corruption,
when
ma'am, then all
corruption took
governments would
place,
come in the
CBI
fray.
started investigating everything, but no result has come out. So this kind of credibility we have. That's why we don't have any faith on CBI. CID is investigating everything, and everything is going very smoothly. Very soon
So
we will
Neelamji,
have the
Pratyush is
result.
of the opinion that we don't
Concrete
have
result we will
faith in
have
the
in the
CBI,
benefit of
though
student
the Chief
and in the
Minister has
benefit
made
of
it clear that
student.
he is open for a central agency to investigate. However, he is waiting till the CID convinces and completes with its investigation. So the credibility factor will be raised on both sides. Then what is the credibility of the CID?
Result will tell, ma'am. Just wait. Because CBI has proven.
So just wait, ma'am, till the time that the students will die of hunger strike. What are you attempting to do then?
Has already proven
Can I
itself.
speak?
But let CID
No, is there a set
investigate
timeline
everything,
for the
and
CID to
result
complete
will
its
tell
probe?
everything within 2 or 3 days. Everything will be clear.
Within 2 or 3
And
days.
our Chief
Pratulji,
Minister
respond
is
to that.
strongly stands with
Have
the
faith in the
student and
CID and the
benefit.
investigation that
That's
has
why
been taking
he has
place.
not taken any harsh step against the students.
She's
He is
lying.
completely
Achha, can I come in?
showing their,
Neelamji, let Pratulji respond to you. Yes.
She's lying through her teeth. She's saying 2-3 days, everything will be fine. Why has the examination not been cancelled? They are waiting for the CID to complete the probe. Now, that's absolutely a cover-up operation because CID investigated draft selection leak examination where 25 lakhs question papers will leak. It still has to submit a formal report. And I agree with the JMM spokesperson that Jharkhand and Jantar Mantar agitation cannot be compared. Yes, because the NEET examination was cancelled and it was retaken and lakhs of students qualified. And Dharmendra Pradhan at least had the moral courage to come up and say, yes, I'm responsible. The first time the paper leak came out.
But
and what
central government tried to save.
Ask her to shut up, ma'am. Please.
Sir, language.
Let her not interrupt.
No, I will
This is not the
intervene.
correct
I
way.
will intervene if
Why is she
necessary.
screaming?
Yes.
Took decision.
Now, why is
that
she
Dharmendra
screaming?
Pradhan-
Yes, Neelamji, let Pratulji complete his point, ma'am. I'll just come back to you.
So what I am saying is that how will the state CID investigate in the states of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh where 400 candidates have qualified? See, I can understand her antipathy or her allergy towards CBI and ED because these were the very agencies who had arrested Chief Minister Hemant Soren about 2 years back on cases of money laundering and land grabbing. So I can understand. And I was listening to Mr. Jain say that DOPT, and by that logic, he was trying to explain the Election Commission. Well, Election Commission is the favorite whipping boy of those ideologues, I can understand. But there's a difference. The budget of Supreme Court and the Election Commission cannot be curtailed by the DOPT of Government of India without their consent. But here in JPSC, the budget doesn't need to be curtailed with the consent of JPSC. It can be curtailed on the initiative of government. Why is the government shying away? And what I'm saying, Amita, final point, when the students have formed the 11-member committee, they have put 2 independent journalists, 1 independent lawyers. Why is the government not agreeing?
Yes, because we've been hearing that government they want to engage with the government. In fact, with the Chief Minister directly, it was supposed to happen yesterday. Then reports suggested that it was to happen today. Now, again, there is still no clarity. Nikhil, your point, please.
May I remind my friend from the BJP that Dharmendra Pradhan called the protesting students as Dehshatgard. You had an RSS functionary calling them anti-national. You had all sorts of names being leveled and all sorts of charges being leveled on the protesting students on Jantar Mantar. So you can, target the Jharkhand government all you want, and as is your right as the opposition in the state.
No, Nikhil, there have been actual reports that have come out to talk about how there were anti-national elements that had actually infiltrated the protest, who wanted the entire...
Sources. They were glorifying...
No, but the entire protest to turn into violent...
Amita.
Yes.
No, first of all, those are reports by sources of Delhi police, Delhi government, parliament.
No, there were videos circulating. Bring back Article 370.
Mr. Deva, I did not interject. Mr. Deva, I did not interject. Can you please extend that?
Nikhil, complete your point, please.
Thank you so much. See, I am not going to believe what Delhi police puts out by sources. The 2,800 people who were supposedly murder accused, this accused, that accused. It's the same Delhi police which could not figure that 2 to 3 lakh people will turn up and was thinking that 10,000 people are going to turn up. You are telling me that they knew that 2,800 people... Mr. Deo, can you please stop?
Nikhil, you complete your point. Please complete your point. I'm running out of time. I have to take another comment from Rashmi. Yes.
My simple point remains that a lot of the news and the reports of anti-national people being there are simply by sources. There is no credible verification. And if indeed there were so many anti-national elements protesting and marching towards the parliament of the country, why is Home Minister of the country not coming to the parliament? Why is the Home Minister not resigning? Forget Dharmendra Pradhan, the Home Minister should resign.
Well,
this is all a bullwash.
Okay, entirely in this debate, where are we then talking about the students? I mean, Rashmi ji, that seems to be lost in the cause. Where are we then talking about the students? We are talking about the Prime Minister, we are talking about the Chief Minister, we are talking about investigating agencies. If the government there at the center had to agree to the demands that were kept forth by the CJP, here are the demands that have been kept forth by the students who have been protesting in Ranchi. What about them then? Rashmi ji.
Absolutely, Amita ji. This is just broadening the goalpost so that wound continues to fester and that there is no solution. So that those benefit from, so that those who benefit from, a burning pyre can keep benefiting, which is activists, politicians who are out of power, they continue to benefit from this. That is what is happening. Unfortunately, the students suffered in the past, they are suffering currently, and they will continue to suffer in the future because these protesters at Jantar Mantar or beyond, they do not really care about the true wants and needs of the students. Because if that were the case, then we would have actionable outcomes about, CBI inquiry, be it about, what happens to people who are prosecuted, who are caught with these things.
And in the end, we are talking about the youth, which currently what we are now looking at has been a sudden change, which has actually been brought about when it comes to their ideology and the thinking is concerned, because now they are being lured from all sides and keeping the communication open and talking about Gen Z in particular and how to understand their language and how to understand their demands. Thank you very much, Pratul ji, Neelam ji, Rashmi and Nikhil for joining us here on the Urban Debate. Thank you very much for your point of views.